What's up, gang? Case here with our in-gym and at-home Metcon for Saturday, December 5th. This is our individual option today. So instead of partner interval style like the other version, you're just going to go straight through. So really no interval style, but the rep or the WOD will be 25, 20, 15, 10, 5 of alternating dumbbell snatch, sit-ups or tuck-ups, and box jumps. I'll let you look at Wodify for those prescribed weights and prescribed heights today. On that dumbbell snatch, feet hip width, maybe slightly wider. Sometimes it's better to get out a little bit wider so you've got some more clearance for that dumbbell, but just make sure you're not any wider than shoulder width. Toes should be straight forward on this stance. Only the front head of that dumbbell needs to touch the ground. Now make sure you pull your hips down on each rep so you can feel that tension in your hamstrings, belly tight, proud chest. Then it's all about using that leg power to get that object to the top. You can switch hands on the way down. Just give yourself enough time to get those hips down. Same leg drive, alternating hands on these. If you're not comfortable switching on the way down, set it on the ground, then switch hands. Also, if you're struggling with your setup position, I would recommend switching hands on the ground. It'll give you the opportunity to work on your setup for a moment longer. On those big sets of 25 and 20 and even 15, definitely split up these reps today. You should pick a weight that allows you to do at least 10 reps at a time unbroken, at least early on in the workout. So for me, I know I went 10, 10, 5 for my set of 25. I went, 12, 8 for my set of 20. I went 9, 6 for my set of 15. I wanted to go unbroken on the 10s, but ultimately had to split those up a bit and then went unbroken on my 5s. After your dumbbell snatch, you've got sit-ups. These can be bent knee, straight leg, or butterfly. I just want you to really focus on throwing your elbows towards your hips and getting those shoulders clearly in front of that hip when you set up. That's why or when you finish. That's why it's always good to have yourself a consistent mark on the ground that you can reach for so that you ensure you're using that full range of motion. On sit-ups, I would recommend going unbroken on those and just keeping yourself at a pace that you can breathe through, breathing in on the way down, breathing out on the way up. RX Plus option today is tuck-ups instead of sit-ups, but I need you to be able to do these things if you plan to do that tuck-up. One, low back stays on the ground in the bottom every time, so no arching. And then our feet and hands should only be about a foot off the ground. A lot of times when I see people finish these V-ups, the way they keep their low back on the ground is they keep their hands and their feet high and they come back to the top. And you're missing out on a lot of the stimulus of the movement if you do it that way. So, little tip here, think about gliding your heels close to the ground as you reach in and out. And in the bottom, reach long with your fingers. That'll help you keep that tension to maintain your hollow position. Last thing on tuck-ups, if you plan to do those, keep your hands off of your legs, keep your hands off of the ground, also keep your heels off of the ground. You should go from hollow to balance every rep. Finishing up with box jumps. Anytime we jump, it's a hip width takeoff. So heels right beneath your hips. When you load, arms go back, knees go wider than your toes. Then when we jump and land, it's a single up arm motion. So you finish with high arms. Also, feet pop out a bit wider, still landing with wide knees, standing all the way up to complete that rep. And then I would recommend stepping down before firing into that next rep. If you're comfortable with box jumps, I want you to actually just keep a consistent pace on those today, hopefully not having to split up those reps. So take a little more time on that stand, take a little more time on that step down. That's when you're getting that in breath. And then as you jump, strong out breath, come up with that breathing pace that'll keep you moving through those unbroken. Now, somebody said it to me in class yesterday that everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. Those box jumps kind of felt like that today. So coming off of the legs on the snatches and then the core on the sit-ups, it made those box jumps a lot harder. So always be ready to modify your rep plan if you need to. Keep yourself safe on that jump up and down. Last thing, if you don't have an object to jump up to, we can do a jump over with a shorter object. It doesn't need to be as high because you got to get those feet all the way up and over. And then also you're absorbing more impact as you're coming down to the ground. Mechanics are the same though. Hip width takeoff, shoulder width landing. On your sit-ups, we talked about going unbroken. On your box jumps, go unbroken if you can, but keep those legs fresh and safe. So if you need to take a step back, know how many breaths you're going to take before you get back into it. I finished the workout between 13 and 14 minutes. So I'm going to recommend pushing for something between a 12 and 15 minute, 16 minute time frame today for this workout. Good luck, and we'll see you back on Monday for our performance week.